Oh my god! What?
Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling good.
I'm joking.
Yeah!
I was being like edged the whole time.
Feeling good.
Cillian Murphy enters the Bone Temple. New members of the Academy on the way, and Martin Scorsese hates the general public.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call.
Bueller,
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Peter.
We have a great show for you today, as always. Welcome everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise, and of course, the OG Audio classmates in podcast land. It's great to be back in the studio. Thank you, everyone, joining in the chat. And thank you, Joseph, for blessing us with your presence after your vacation. How was it? How are you?
It was good for the most part.
Yeah.
Like 99% of it was good.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a passing grade, right?
Barely.
Yeah.
It's 99% of an A plus.
I could have done with that extra 1%, but
Yeah.
but no, it was good. I love Portland. I love the Pacific Northwest, and the weather was fantastic.
How much time do you spend in Portland versus elsewhere? Versus the Goonie town.
The weekend,
Goonville.
yeah. Welcome to Goonville. Where gooners come to goon. Portland, I spent a few days in first. Me and Deanna drove up there, spent a few days in. We stayed in downtown at his old hotel, which was really nice.
Nice.
And experienced a lot more of the city than we did the last time we went, which was like 8 years ago. No, almost 10 years ago.
When you got married?
That was
9 years.
That was a year before we got married.
Yeah.
No.
They only been married for 9 years. You should know that, Tyler.
But I should.
Yeah, when's my wedding anniversary?
Yeah.
Portland's a really, really nice city. Really like exploring that town. Lots of variety of food options and eclectic like people. Very nice. Just a different metropolitan environment.
How Deanna's parents do? I know they're
They
little
didn't
traditional.
They did not go to Portland.
Oh, they didn't.
No.
Okay.
They only her mom did one day, and we didn't really go that far into it. We went to like sort of a arboretum park area of Portland, and then we went to like more of a touristy part of the city. And then I went to the coast, Astoria and Seaside. And Astoria is historically where they filmed the Goonies, scenes of Kindergarten Cop, scene from Twilight.
You got out just in time because yesterday, right, was the
Yeah.
40th anniversary. Of
Yeah,
Goonies?
yesterday.
It's a whole week or weekend thing, the 40th anniversary of Goonies, and they were prepping for it during the week.
How many times do you hear someone say, "Hey, you guys"?
There was not to us, but there was a lot of signs.
Really?
There's a lot of signs, and then one dude was like, we were walking by him, and I could see him. He saw us coming, and then he tried to grab something from his car, and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" He had a little dog with him too, and then he turned around. He had put a coin in his eye. He's like, "You guys see One Eye Willie?" And
Oh my god!
and I was like, yeah, really good.
Good stuff. Yeah. He did it.
Well,
There's some the Gooners out there are like they're really into it.
yeah.
They're really into gooning.
I mean that movie is. I'm
all?
surprised that has such a following.
I mean, they don't really have anything else out there.
They
have nothing else for them.
They don't have much.
Just give him that.
Other than that, Astoria is a really chill and like nice town. Like it's a small. If you've been to Mendocino or Fort Bragg, it's like that. Very chill. A little bit more going on than Mendocino. Mendocino is like everything opens at 10 a.m. and closes at 6 p.m. But Astoria is like it's on the pier. It's like it's on the ocean and very walkable. A lot more hills. And weather was very coastal, cloudy, cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was what is the opposite of here.
Yes,
Yes.
it came back and just saw the thermostat just going up and up and up and up.
You're like, yeah, here we
Got
are.
out of my car when we got to Sac, and I was like, oh my God. I should have prepped for the weather here and not worn sweats while I was driving.
I went golfing last Sunday, and got nice and burnt on the golf course, and then yesterday I had a car show. That's why we had to push the show back a day.
How'd you do on the links?
I did good. I beat my uncle, and he
You did?
Yeah, he golfs like every 2 to 3 weeks. I haven't golfed in 5 years. So
Yeah. I'm sad I listened to the trivia episode,
yeah.
the Tyler trivia. Everyone against Tyler. Mm-hmm. And we kind of were talking about it before the show, and I was both surprised and disappointed at the guests and at Tyler.
Yeah,
Guess I'll go De Niro.
You guys put a little too much faith into our friend Tyler. If you've listened to the previous trivia games, I would think you would know.
Well, we prefaced it. I mean, I prefaced it. I was like, I'm not good at trivia. This isn't going to go well. I had nothing to lose. In fact, I had nothing to lose other than the faith in our classmates because, they were depending on me to get the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
so really, like, I had my dignity to lose, and then they had the points to.
It was like a weird form of torture for Tyler. Yeah. Because it was like he was a prisoner, and like you better get it right, or we're gonna beat you. We're gonna beat you every time you get it wrong.
No negative to it.
I was kind of thinking that at one point. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like they're depending on me to win this game.
No. They're depending on their knowledge of you to win this game, and they all fail.
But if you
Except for Dallas.
if you change the stakes to like every time you get one wrong, Tyler.
They lose a point. That's different.
Yeah.
I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. Like the fire was under my feet because like I didn't want to disappoint anyone, but at the same time, I know my shortcomings like on cinema knowledge. Like I don't know. Like it was fun. I'm sorry that you were disappointed though. I thought it was a fun episode.
No, I wasn't disappointed in the episode. The episode was really funny.
Yeah.
I was bummed.
I was disappointed in you.
Yeah. I was bummed that I wasn't there. I mean, you got all the
Yeah.
you got my namesake here. You got Joseph Bridges out
I
here.
know. I got Joe Bridges. I got Binge Lord Dan, Dallas, Heather,
Yeah,
and Stu.
Yeah, I mean, again, I surprised myself with the fictional dog category. That was I surprised
I think that's where he got this drop from when you got Balto right, and Dallas was like, "Oops, not that one." He said,
Whoa.
"He got one right."
Feeling good.
Well, that's cool. So you went out to the links, Pete. Joseph went to Portland, Oregon. I took on a second job.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
So I'm managing a card shop.
Card shop.
Yeah, like
Card
playing
shop.
cards.
yeah, like a like a comic book card shop. Yeah,
You're managing it.
I'm managing it. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
It's been going on for a couple of nights now.
A couple of them.
How do you manage? How do you get a job in management? Was it a phone interview?
I'm joking.
What?
You sure about that? You don't collect cards.
Okay, well,
What kind of cards?
Baseball cards, right?
No, it's
trading cards.
Like Pokemon cards?
It's called Tetramon cards. Okay. You know what? I was trying to make a joke out of it. It's a video. It's a video game simulator.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and when I can't sleep at night or when I wake up too early in the morning and I can't fall asleep, I've been playing that game.
Those things are really popular right now, like shop manager, like sim shopping.
Yeah,
or sim shop owner.
Yeah, it is really
Second
it's
life.
it is really it's really fun. I've named all of my regular customers, and if you were ever like if there's a ghost in my house or something and they're just watching over me play, I sound like an insane person because I'm just like yelling at random customers. I'm like, get out. Like, I don't know. I have nothing going on in my life, so let's just get into some actual gab and chatter.
Very good.
Find some character in ye, lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter, where we talk about movie news, movie discussions, what have you. Joseph, what do you have?
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, I know it's you.
I was only gone a week. You know what's crazy? I was only gone a week, and they installed a stop sign.
What?
Between when I left and when I came back.
Where, at your house?
Yeah, by my house in a street in Midtown. I'm
Really?
Like, so me and Deanna were walking. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This car's stopping, waiting for me.
Hell?
Anyway,
The hell?
the enjoyment of living in Midtown.
Yeah, exactly.
So for my news story, 28 years later is coming out soon this month on June 20th. The long-awaited third movie.
Yes, a third.
Yeah,
Third movie of this, of Danny Boyle's 28 Years franchise, is going to be releasing soon, and it's already got another sequel planned for next January to be released.
Yeah.
Directed by somebody else, directed by Nia DaCosta, called 28 Years The Bone Temple.
28 years later, the Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple.
Yeah.
And apparently this is going to be 28 years later is the beginning of this new trilogy set. So it's like two movies and then a trilogy of movies.
2 movies and then a trilogy?
Yeah, so we got 28 days
I
later.
I see. Okay.
28 weeks later.
Yeah.
And
then it's a trilogy, a removed
I think we
trilogy.
talked about this, where it's like 28 centuries later.
Yeah.
Yeah, when will it end? But the next one is just called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. So it's still the same amount of time later. Just there's a bone temple involved.
That's okay.
And I was under the impression that 28 Days Later was going to feature Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
And so this might be a spoiler, but I guess for what it's setting up expectations. But coming from the man himself, Danny Boyle, he says that Cillian Murphy does not have a part in 28 Years Later, but he will feature in the end of the 2026 sequel.
Post-credit scene?
I don't know. Yeah, it says 28. He'll appear in the end post credits of the 2026 sequel. So he's like kind of just putting it out there, like, yeah, he doesn't want people to be disappointed when they watch the movie this month. So I don't know.
I mean, he wasn't. I get that, like, he's kind of he's not really a pivotal character in the universe. So that when you're saying that, it kind of surprises me. It's like I love Cillian Murphy. I think he's an incredible actor, but like within that universe, it's like, what role does he play in that is so important that he needs to be a part of the series going forward? Like,
because he wasn't in the second one.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, everyone thought that in the you guys saw the trailer for 28 Years Later, right?
I saw the first one.
Yeah,
where
I saw the teaser
with that like skinny zombie going up Nosferatu way.
Not Cillian Murphy.
It's not Cillian Murphy, but everyone thought it was
a fashion designer who just is that skinny.
Yeah. He looked strikingly like Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, he did.
It was a red herring, or is that what they call it?
Yeah.
And so he's gonna make a third one. I actually don't know if Danny Boyle's gonna direct the third one, because since he's not directing this direct sequel, it's coming out next year. But he's basically hoping that if this first one is a success enough, and the star power that Cillian Murphy has will be enough to finance for the third movie.
Yeah.
And Cillian Murphy's last big role was for Oppenheimer for 2023.
Okay.
2023, I think. And so hoping that his Oscar-winning role will be enough to pull in producers for whatever the sequel is going to be called.
Kind of weird that he gave away that he's going to be in it.
Yeah, he's going about it in a weird way. Maybe he's just announcing, like, anybody out there who wants to give me money to make the third movie,
sure,
he's gonna be in it.
He's gonna be in it.
We promise. At the end, though.
At the end,
that's cool. I mean, I'm gonna watch it no matter what.
Yeah.
It's 28 years after the last movie. I assume that he's probably dead.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And
thinking.
if he's not dead, it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he yes, he was the main character in 28 Days Later, but as far as like the universe goes, he wasn't like a pivotal character. He was just some guy who was in the hospital and wakes up and he's like, oh my god, the world had ended.
Yeah, I think it's weird that they're doing a 4K release of it, considering it was shot on like video or something.
Was it really?
It was shot on tape.
Yeah, shot on tape.
Wow.
Very weird, like low. I mean, it looks right for the movie,
gritty as shit.
But I'm thinking, like, how do you get a 4K of that? Like, at what point do you just say?
Are you just diminishing the?
Yeah, or Blu-ray's enough. Like, you can't. Yeah. You're gonna see the very clear grain of the film or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they shot the new one on a iPhone 15. No, iPhone.
I think it was 15.
Yeah, iPhone 15.
15 Max.
Yeah, something like that.
And I saw a shot of it where they had like.
Oh yeah, they had all the phones
of the iPhones in a row, like around.
Oh yeah,
around sort of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, shot on an iPhone, but I mean,
really, the rigging is so expensive.
Yeah. Like, you have Sean Baker shot on an iPhone, and you have Danny Boyle shot on an iPhone.
Yes, very different.
Very different.
Cool.
But Danny Boyle says, all I can say is you have to wait for Cillian, but hopefully he will help get us the third film financed.
Okay, cool. So there's the motivation.
Although each story in the trilogy completes itself, there's a handover section to the next film, so it's very ambitious. We haven't got the money for the third one yet. It will depend how the first one does, I guess. But hopefully if we do okay, they'll give us the go-ahead for the money and for the third one. Everybody's standing by for that, really, including Cillian. So he's kind of going the Denis Dune approach.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, God, I hope this is good.
Calling a shot, yeah. Cool.
All right. Is that it?
Yep.
Pete, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, so my story is about the Academy and the who votes on what movies make it to the Oscars. So at the end of June, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Science are expected to extend invitations to a new class of members who meet the professional qualifications to join their prestigious club. So there is already right now, there are 19 different branches of the Academy, and they make up different roles of film production or film, I guess than just film. I guess it's all production because it goes from actors, casting directors, cinematographers, costume designers, directors, documentarians.
Hold on. So you're saying that it's not just like a circle of people that vote on every category? Every category has its own voters?
No, I don't. No, I think they all vote on it.
Okay.
But these are just different branches of people that get access to vote.
Oh, okay.
Like if you are a film editor, you could say, well, I want to be part of the Academy. I want to be a voter. So you can say, well, basically say, well, I'm a film editor, so I get to be in. That sort of thing.
Okay.
Makeup artists, hairstylists, marketing and public relations, music producers, production designers, short films, sound, visual effects, and writers are all basically branches.
What about podcasters?
No, that is negative. They actually ban us from the theaters.
Oh no.
But the newest group would be potentially theater owners. Yes, theater owners.
Like the CEO of like AMC?
More or less, yeah.
Interesting. Not like local theaters.
That's yet to be seen, because if they were to say, I own a theater, I'm part of the Theater Owners Guild or whatever the fuck they call themselves, then maybe they could be Academy members.
The Togs.
The Tog. So the last one branch that was opened up was Production and Technology branch in 2023, and that split the animation features in shorts in 2024. So the committees within each branch are currently meeting to decide on membership recommendations for 2025. A class that will help shape the Academy's future leading up to the 100-year anniversary celebration in 2028.
Yeah.
So, unlike more normal guilds or associations, the Academy membership is not open to applications. It is invite only, and most candidates require secure sponsorships from 2 existing members within the Academy of the branch that they belong in order to join. So, the other exceptions are Oscar nominees. They're automatically considered for membership without requiring a sponsor. But the final decision rests on the Academy's board governors. So right now, there actually is 5 exhibitors, which are theater owners. They're basically showing the movies, exhibitors, that are on the Academy currently. 2 of them are companies that you would have heard of. Could you guys going to guess what companies are?
Regal.
No.
Cinemark.
Nope.
AMC.
Think bigger.
Theater companies?
Those are the big ones.
Yeah, think bigger. Think
IMAX.
big. IMAX is one. It is
Alamo Drafthouse.
Alamo Drafthouse is the other. Yeah.
Oh,
Richard Gelfand, the CEO of IMAX Corporation, and Tim League, the founder of Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, are already part of the Academy. And it's interesting, though, because Tim League is the founder of Neon Productions.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's he's already Oscar winner anyways. So
yeah,
I guess yeah. It's funny because it's like being a part of a basketball team where you never get to play, but they won a championship, and you still get a ring.
Yeah,
management is an important thing.
Yeah,
you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Also, Greg Lamel, CEO of Lamel Theaters, and David and Patricia Keeley, both of whom hold executive roles at IMAX, also belong to the production and technology branch in the Academy. So those are 5 people that are already in there, but they're under a different branch, the production and technology branch.
Wow, what a life!
Yeah,
really. Like, can you imagine just being at a New Year's Eve party with all your rich friends? You're like, yeah, I'm a part of the Academy.
I believe Greg Savasti is part of the Academy.
Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he gets so much shit.
Because
so
he gets the
screeners,
the
and
screeners,
swag and all that stuff. I mean, he gets everything every year at the Oscars. He says he has a whole room in his house full of just piles of swag and stuff.
Wow, nice.
But what do you guys think about that?
I think it's so I mean, on first reaction, I detest the idea because I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you run a theater like that. How does that give any credence to your opinion?
Why do you hate art, Tyler?
I think it's just it's a horrible thing that humanity
There's so
has.
much disdain in your voice for these theater owners. It's where you go to watch a movie.
Yeah,
but isn't that a good thing?
They don't like I said, they don't have any credence to the art form. They just house where
they provide the art to the masses. Isn't
anyone
that good?
could do that. I could do that,
but you don't.
You could do that.
You could.
Okay, fair point. Okay,
but
I'm just
there was a time when you wanted socialized movie theaters.
Yeah,
I still do.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Government run theaters, yes. Yeah.
What about you, Joseph? What do you think?
I mean, I'm not against the idea. I don't see necessarily why it's a bad thing.
I think that's a very strong part of the actual theater or like the movie process is theaters. And basically the argument of these people that are running these exhibitors, essentially, they're saying, well, we watch all these movies. We watch these movies on a regular, that's like our entire life is watching movies.
Do they though? Do they really?
I would imagine so.
The theater owners?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, why would you
open a theater, like a business, put all your life savings and all your energy into it, and then be like, you know what, I don't like movies though. I'm just not gonna watch them.
I mean, there are definitely outliers of people like, well, I don't really care about this product or what it does. I'm just doing it because it makes me money.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's kind of where I'm standing on is like,
but
do they
people
really
like,
care about the art of cinema? Or
I would say people like IMAX or Alamo Drafthouse,
mm-hmm.
or if it was AMC, I would say those would be the most like if it was Regal or Cinemark, I would be like very corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they other ones aren't corporate, but like IMAX like provides theaters that give you
they're pushing the boundaries.
A movie experience.
Yeah, they're pushing the boundaries of technology.
You know? So I feel like they're the ones who are a little bit more qualified, at least, to be of the Academy judging crowd.
All I know is that it's a maybe. There's talk about it, but it's not a for sure thing. But they are talking about adding basically another branch this year. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what that is. I'll do a little more follow up with it if it comes to fruition.
If it were to expand to like smaller theaters, to where the only barrier of entry is to own a theater that shows new movies, then there are some tiny ass theaters that do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, but you never know what kind of people are running those things.
But don't they deserve to put their 2 cents in about like what movie gets nominated, what movie gets, best picture or whatever?
I don't know. Like
they're more qualified than the average person on the street.
If the owner of the Tower Theater in Sac, was like, I'm on the Academy now. I'm in the Academy now.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be really cool.
But then there's theaters like, I don't know if you've been to Dreamland Cinema in Sac, which is like a living room type theater, but they don't show new movies.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a theater and they show movies.
Yeah, there's probably going to be some sort of a criteria if you're going to be in that category or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. So
that is.
We'll see. That's all I got, Tyler.
All right. So this comes from theguardian.com. This story stuck with me because I found out about it a few days ago, and I don't know why I kept thinking about it, but it just didn't leave my mind. But Martin Scorsese no longer watches films in cinemas due to audience bad behavior. Now, with that title, I only saw the title a couple of days ago. I didn't read the quote, like him suggesting that he is not going to cinemas due to audience bad behavior. But when I saw that, I was like, of course Marty's not going to go to theaters because of his preconceived
disdain for the public.
Yeah, he's just like
cinema guy.
He probably
Marty Scorsese.
This guy.
Oh, okay.
This is cinema guy.
The meme from the meme. Okay.
Yeah,
now
I know him.
Now
I
director.
I think it's like, okay, Marty, like when are you going to the theaters? Like honestly, like I kind of started going like it started cascading on me, going on a tangent in my own head. She's like, okay, Marty, like you're not going to the theaters with the regular people, you son of a bitch. Like you are.
Well, that's he just he's not doing that anymore.
I'm just saying, like he's not going to the theaters to watch movies. Like he is not a man of the people. Like he's above. And I mean, based on his previous behavior, like in his disdain for other things that has to do with the general public.
What, like Marvel stuff?
Yeah, like the Marvel, like his criticisms. Like
what is it? Yeah, but he's earned that right. He's an old fuck.
Most
old guys don't like Marvel.
I'm not saying he's not justified. I'm just saying that he's not going to
Do you think that he goes like a separate theater that he goes to that only he can get into?
Probably.
I mean, I'm sure he's got one at his house, but
yeah.
But if you were to go out to a theater, you think there's a special Scorsese only theater?
I don't think he's finding a parking spot in a theater parking lot.
Well, that's what he's saying in the
no,
story.
He's saying that he's not going because of bad behavior. So I'm gonna read the quote that he says here.
That's why I go to the drive-in.
So And so the journalist, I'm going to read the journalist quote first.
Okay.
He said, I asked the maestro why he doesn't see movies in theaters anymore, and he went all raging bull about audiences who babble on phones during the movie, leave to order snacks in vats of soda, and keep up a noise level loud enough to drown out the actors.
All valid criticisms.
Yes.
I mean, like, just reading that, it's like he's complaining about like what people do like at movie theaters.
You have
like,
no room to talk, though. Your theater etiquette is the worst I've ever seen. Actually, second worst I've ever seen.
yes, that is correct. Yeah, I will not deny that.
You would love it if your person in your row was like, "Hey, I'm going to get a popcorn. You want to come with me?" You're like, "Yeah, please. This movie sucks." Come back and shout at the screen some more.
Martin Scorsese must be going to the theater at Natomas or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Martin was just saying that he hated. I think what he said that he didn't like the people that were he was specifically talking about the Minecraft movie, which I know he didn't see that.
I went to go see the Minecraft movie.
I know he didn't see the Minecraft movie. I know he just
Maybe
saw
he went
it
with his
like
granddaughter.
No, he did not.
He's very close with her.
He did not. He probably saw like the news stories of the people like going ham like in the theater.
I was in line to see the Minions, and all these guys came up with suits.
And I was like, this is not cinema. I said, this is not cinema.
This, not cinema.
Not.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I got from this article was that one, the journalist was really like pulling straws, like to get a story out of Martin Scorsese.
Come on, Martin, give me some.
Well, that's how those headlines start. Is you just have an interview with them and you take one small part of the interview and you go, "That's kind of funny."
Yeah,
we're making a headline over it. It's clickbait.
Yeah, and so
And here we are feeding the beast.
But when I
rage bait,
but it just got me thinking that like celebrities don't really go to like public movie theaters.
That's not true. That's not true.
I used to see Bobby Jackson in the theater in Roseville all the time.
Kevin Bacon and Kira, what's her name?
Cedric.
Kira Knightley?
No. Cedric?
Kira
Cedric.
Her first name is Kira?
Yeah.
Okay, Kira Cedric. They're huge like proponent, like they're big advocates for going to the theater. So they document okay, we're going to go see so-and-so at the movie theater, and then they go see it, and then they do another like TikTok or YouTube short or something, and they go, wow, what a great movie. We just got out of it. Super great, walking back to their car. And it's like, they're just at a theater.
I don't believe it.
Matt Stillman lives in LA. He goes to the theater all the time, and he says, not all the time, but from time to time, he sees people he knows from movies in the theater with him. They're going to see.
I don't think so.
I know
it happens.
I don't
Matt,
think so.
please, can you chime in? Can you send a message in?
I know that's
comment on this YouTube video.
Tom Cruise goes to the movies a lot. Like he's a big like movie theater fan.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Well, that's news to me because I was under the impression that celebrities do not go out.
They don't participate in normie activity.
I mean, Chapel Roan can't go to the theater by herself, or Taylor Swift. They'd be thronged by fans.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see Florence Pugh going out on a date with me and watching a movie.
And I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
What?
Whoa.
Oh man.
I think that there's they should probably announce that Martin Scorsese's in the theater with them to shut the fuck up. So basically,
So you guys know, we're not going to tell you where he is.
Scorsese's here, just so you know. So somebody be on your best behavior. No vats of soda. No leaving.
No talking. No cell phones.
No drowning out the actors.
No rummaging through your Skittles in your jean jacket.
No shouting
in
MAGA.
the quiet parts.
No shouting MAGA at the screen.
Yeah.
No falling asleep.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I will not shy away from my poor theater etiquette. I have improved though. I'm not bad anymore. But
I wouldn't know.
How do we know that?
Well, I mean, I guess you would have to find out.
When was the last time you went to the theater?
The last time, what was the last movie I saw? I think it was Civil War. That was the last movie that I saw, and that was
last year.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to go to the movie theater yesterday, but things didn't work out. I got edged. But yeah, it was. So I mean, you know, Martin Scorsese, I mean, he has a good point. Like, you know, there is a lot of I feel like poor theater etiquette is more prevalent now than it has been before. Either that or it's more documented. I don't know. I mean,
It's definitely more documented.
I think the charge of him saying he's not going to theaters to watch movies. I never pinned him as someone, going in public to watch a movie. But I mean, he looks like a regular old guy, so he probably is not going. Okay, yeah, there we go.
I don't know if he looks like a regular old man. If I saw Martin Scorsese and he wasn't a famous director, I saw him in public, I'd be like, it's a short little man with thick eyebrows. Yeah.
That is a unique looking old man.
He's a unit.
Yeah, he's a unit. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for movie news and Gab and Chatter. Let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do. Disney.
Oh wait, I did
Plus.
see
Oh,
Nosferatu.
HBO Max. If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
Movie. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Okay, streaming picks, movies that we watched this week and that we will recommend to the classmates and otherwise. Joseph, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, so I didn't watch any movies this last week because I was not in town and didn't have access to any streaming services or TV or anything. But the week before, I did watch a few. So the first one, I per Pete's recommendation, I watched Audience of One.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the documentary, and that was pretty entertaining. It was a little dry,
yeah.
But the sheer I honestly didn't expect the amount of scale of production that he had in Italy, right? Is where it was. In this like weird I don't know if people lived in those little huts.
Yeah, I think it was a weird town.
Or was it just like a historic monument that people can just walk through? And how did he get access to was he doing a guerrilla? Because there was a lot going on. There was a crane. There was a line with a camera that kept breaking.
Yeah, they almost killed someone with that thing.
And they got the, what was his name? Jens?
Yeah, Jens.
Jens,
it was Jens.
The DP from Germany or Berlin or something. And like the fact that he stayed on the project for that long is kind of crazy.
They must have been paying him pretty good.
But it was pretty entertaining. The guy, whatever, I can't remember his name, but the Pentecostal minister, Richard Gazowski, was pretty hilarious himself. And it was so stress-inducing.
Yes.
Watching them not shooting anything. Watching them building the goddamn fire pits.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
this fire pit has to be perfect.
You were planning to start shooting already, and you're 24 hours behind. It was incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
To watch that because they only had
2 days.
2 days to shoot or something.
They had 5
extended
days.
Oh, okay.
They had 5 days, but they had 3 to prep and 2 to shoot.
Oh, okay. And then the people who are doing the wardrobe and the costume, and then the woman listing off we still gotta do this, we still gotta do that, and this and that,
and it's we're leaving tomorrow.
And I'm like, just do it that full scale, on location, out of country project for your first feature film as somebody with no experience.
Insane.
And then renting out that giant fucking warehouse on Treasure Island.
Yeah.
And the fact that this only took place 2 hours away from here is crazy. And the fact that it was all documented.
I know, they just let him in. They thought they were gonna be heroes.
Yeah, for our entertainment. And he never made the movie. It was like American movie. It was never finished.
It just is so funny because every little bit of it is the most difficult way they could have done the whole production.
Yeah.
They're like, we got a thing that looks like a chinchilla, but it's like an alien chinchilla.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just see if the Italian zoos, they might let us use one of them.
They got something.
Yeah, they can lend us a few.
And honestly, the film the film kept jamming in the camera, and it looked like a pretty decent production when they were on location.
Well, they had the equipment for it.
When they finally set it up, and they had all of those extras and the wardrobe for them. So it was from that perspective, it looked at least well choreographed, but I mean, we'll never get to see what it actually looks like.
They're still working on it.
What I thought was hilarious when he was doing some point in the midpoint during the movie, he's like doing his sermon.
Yeah.
And he's like running around the room going, "Second wind, second wind." And I was quoting that all week.
Really?
Like, because we were walking around a lot, and then we get tired in the middle of the day, and then like sit down for a while, and then get the energy back up, and it'd be like, "Second wind."
Pastor Rich.
Yeah. So that's on, YouTube for free, and it's pretty entertaining for sure.
Insane.
I caught up on Ocean's 11, the remake, the first remake, Steven Soderbergh's Ocean's 11. Never seen it.
Are you serious?
No.
What a great movie.
No,
So
yeah,
fun.
Yes, I am serious. I've seen like parts of it, but I never watched it all the way through.
Such a fun movie.
And yeah, it is a very, very fun movie. Very well crafted heist movie.
That's one of those movies I wish I could have seen for the first time, because when you see the reveal,
Yeah.
the second angle of them carrying the bags out, you're like,
Oh yeah.
oh, fucking good.
Yeah.
They got him.
Yeah, it was good because there was no like we're not gonna get out or whatever. It was like it was like a sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Right. And then the fact that this already happened.
Yeah.
Was really well put together and really entertaining.
Great script.
So I'm curious about the other ones, the sequels, if they're as entertaining, as good.
I got both of them. You can borrow them if it's not streaming anywhere.
So yeah, Ocean's 11. I don't really need to talk about the plot of that. It's really entertaining, and that's streaming on. Where did I watch that?
George Clooney and Brad Pitt should be in more movies together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen a George Clooney movie in a long time.
Ocean's 11 is...
Oh, Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix only.
I feel like I saw that.
What'd you say, Tyler? That George Clooney hasn't been in a movie in a long time?
I haven't seen a George Clooney movie in a long time.
Got it.
I rewatched for the first time in a long time The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Still really, really love that movie. Really, really inspiring in terms of just like exploring, adventure, traveling, all that kind of stuff.
Brianna loves that movie.
Great soundtrack for 2013. There's a lot of like
for 2013.
I mean, there's a lot of great like needle drops in that movie. And yeah, and Ben Stiller directed it. I feel like I could see a hint of Severance in that movie too.
Oh, really?
I've never seen the show, but I can know what it's about. But I feel like there's something in there that is like a nugget of Severance for the premise of Severance. And also I picked up a little bit more on like, I guess like homages or callbacks or there's one specific one where he gets to Greenland. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I don't even know this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really good. Ben Stiller, Kristen Wiig plays a small part. Sean Penn plays an even smaller part. Adam Scott, also Severance, plays a dickhead, like a dickhead boss.
I don't remember it very well.
Ben Stiller is a film photo like archivist, and Sean Penn is this like travel photographer who's like world renowned in this story, and they deal. Ben Stiller deals a lot with him, sort of remotely. He's never met him, and the beginning of the movie is Sean Penn sends a roll to. He works for Life magazine.
Yeah.
And in the movie, this is Life's final physical issue of the magazine. And Adam Scott is the sort of corporate takeover to go all digital. And so the movie starts with Sean Penn's character sending him the film roll with the final roll of film, and there's one missing. And he also sends him like a wallet with like a saying on it. I think it's Life's motto, which I can't remember, but and then that sort of triggers an adventure for Ben Stiller, because he has to find the final photo, because that's going to be the cover of Life magazine. And so he goes on a global quest to find Sean Penn to get the final photo. And Ben Stille's character is very like introverted and doesn't do anything really. And so that's kind of like the antagonist in the movie is like him getting out of the show. Getting out. And yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. And that's streaming on, where is that streaming? Hulu. But yeah, really good soundtrack for
what was the movie called again?
Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Great visual effects too.
I don't remember.
Anyway, there was this one moment where he's in Greenland and he's gonna rent a car, and they're like these two really small, like smart car looking cars. And I was like, oh, this is just like the Matrix because one's red and one's blue, and he chooses the red one. And I was like, oh, okay, because if he chose the blue one, it would just be like the symbology of him going back to his boring life. Yeah, and the red one is reality. So that's streaming on Hulu. And I finally caught up with Saturday Night.
The Saturday Night Live movie?
Yeah. And which is streaming on also Netflix now. And it's not a biopic. It's literally just a telling or a showing, I guess, of one Saturday night production in the early days of Saturday Night Live. I don't know if it's the very first one.
It is.
Is it the very first one?
Yeah, it's supposed to be because George Carlin was the first guest.
Oh, was he? Okay, then. And it's kind of like, it's a little bit like Birdman in the way that it's presented. It's not like it's presented as one shot like Birdman is, but it's very chaotic in the energy of like cameras moving around hallways and long takes and trying to set up for this live production. And you're on a timer that starts at like 10 p.m. or something. And then you get timestamps throughout the movie, all leading up to 11:30 p.m. To the first sketch of the show, and then that's when the movie ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was very chaotic at first and kind of disjointed, but almost like on purpose.
It's like for every one little story you're watching, there's 100 other things happening that you're not privy to.
Yeah.
So it's really chaotic.
And you're following Lorne Michaels, who is the one putting this on and who's the showrunner and is still the showrunner for this. This is also directed by Jason Reitman, who did Up in the Air. Did he? Yeah. And there's a bunch of people: Rachel Sennott, Dylan O'Brien, Lamorne Morris, who I thought was supposed to be Eddie Murphy, but it was a totally different person.
Garrett Morris.
Yeah, I was like, he's kind of putting on a Eddie Murphy kind of cadence, but no, it was Garrett Morris. Finn Wolfhard has a really small role. Willem Dafoe is in it as well, in a slightly bigger role. J.K. Simmons' role was pretty funny. Literally pulls his dick out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Kaya Gerber. Lots of people. There's someone playing Jim Henson in it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the treatment of Jim Henson.
Oh, they were super mean to him.
Or the Muppets. But it was pretty entertaining. It's a short watch, chaotic, kind of anxiety inducing. But ultimately pretty entertaining, I thought.
The guy that played Andy Kaufman also did Jim Henson. He did dual role.
Oh yeah, I did see that in the credits. Yeah,
it was some good casting as far as how the people looked.
Chevy Chase was probably the best casting.
He was really good.
The guy who played that Chevy Chase, I was like, wow,
yeah,
that guy's a fucking asshole.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, it was all around pretty entertaining, I thought. And then that was it.
All right, cool. Pete, what are your streaming picks for this week?
All right, so I have a few older movies and a few new movies. Let me log this one real quick. So I watched a movie that was recommended by Michael, Angry Otter, Under the Rainbow from 1981. And it's just a really kind of crazy movie that it's almost like an alternative reality to an event that actually happened in real life. The only thing is you can't stream it for free anywhere. You got to rent it. So I would not necessarily recommend to spend money on this because it's a little dated and old. But I did have a fun time watching it because there's some interesting things happening in it. So again, it's released in 1981, but it takes place in when The Wizard of Oz is being filmed, and it's in Los Angeles on the Culver City lot or off the Culver City lot at the Culver City Hotel, the Culver Hotel, where famously all of the little people that were hired for the Munchkins were all relegated to stay in the same hotel. Yeah. And they fucking thrashed the place. Like completely destroyed this hotel. Like swinging from the chandeliers, like permeating every part of this poor hotel. But the movie basically, that happens. Carrie Fisher plays their wrangler. She's basically like a production assistant that has to like take care of all the little people and get them checked in and stuff.
Yeah.
And Chevy Chase, the aforementioned Chevy Chase, he's a detective, and I'm not a detective. I'm sorry, he's a Secret Service agent. And he's supposed to be protecting a British duke or a lord or something like that, who is supposedly has an assassination attempt against him. So he's just basically traveling as his envoy with him and his wife and their dog. And then at the same time, there's a Nazi spy who is also a little person, who is supposed to be meeting a Japanese contact.
A little Nazi?
A little Nazi.
A little Nazi.
Yeah, a little one.
They come in all sizes.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be meeting with a Japanese informant or whatever to like give him this map or get a map from him or some shit like that. A little bit of convoluted storyline, but a Japanese amateur photography bus tour breaks down in front of the hotel. So all these Japanese men have to go and stay in the hotel. And then there's all these little people staying in the hotel.
This is framed as a comedy,
It
right?
is a comedy,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. And then the little Nazi shows up the same time that the other Munchkins show up. And then this Japanese informant shows up at the same time that all the Japanese amateur photographers, tourists show up.
Okay.
And there's hilarity ensues, as you can imagine. He's like, how will he know, that I'm the informant? And he's like, I told him to look for someone your size. And then there's a million midgets there, little people. And
fuck.
this is a very insensitive movie too. Like,
I'm sure.
It
doesn't sound
new, not good in that regard. But there's some fun to be had, and there's some interesting stuff. But it's like 1981 comedy that's it's kind of funny. So, but I wanted to report on it because Angry Otter really wanted me to watch it, and I thought it was bonkers. So, had a fun time with it, Michael. Okay, so I watched the sequel to Chinatown, and I will not talk much about it until after we review Chinatown.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention it because it's streaming right now. Let me see where it's streaming.
Also directed by Polanski?
No, that's the funny thing. It's directed by Jack Nicholson.
Oh.
Yeah. So also streaming on Paramount. Chinatown's a Paramount project or property. So, and it came out 17 years after the original. I think that's what it was. Let's see here. 1990, 16 years.
Damn.
Yeah, 1990. And so Nicholson is, Jake Gittes is old in this.
Yeah.
And the movie's only supposed to take place 11 years after.
Oh, so it's still using Jake Gittes as the...
He's it. Yeah, he's the main character. Yeah, it's about him. He's one of the two Jakes. The movie's called The Two Jakes.
Oh,
the sequel is called The Two Jakes. Yeah.
I thought because like his name's JJ Gittes, I was Jake Gittes.
No,
Jake Gittes.
He takes on a client played by Harvey Keitel, who's also named Jake.
Oh.
And basically he what?
That's a premise. It's funny.
Yeah.
Your name's Jake? We're like the two Jakes.
They meet in an office.
Shirt brother.
Yeah. They become friends in the office when he hires him. And then he's like, thank you, Mr. Gittes. He's like, please, my friends call me Jake. He goes, what a coincidence. Mine do too. And he goes, look at this, the two Jakes. And then that's it. So yeah, it's not as good as Chinatown, but it was still interesting. And there's some good twists here that I thought were pretty good.
That's good writing.
Yeah. But Eli Wallach is in this, who is the ugly from Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Plays a pretty big part. So, all right. So I won't talk about that too much till later. I watched on Apple TV from 2020 a movie called The Banker, and I can't remember who recommended this to me, but it's directed by Jared Nolfi. Never heard of him before. This is a historical event. It's like a kind of a part of it's like a real life story. It's about a black man from Texas who moved to Los Angeles and decided to become a real estate mogul. And it's played by Anthony Mackie. And in the 60s, that was not a thing. Like, you couldn't get a loan at a bank as a black man. So he uses a white man to basically be his front. played by Nicholas Holt.
It's like Black Klansman,
Very similar,
but
yeah.
in reverse.
Yeah. So Nicholas Holt, basically, they groom him, and it's him, Anthony Mackie, and Samuel L. Jackson are basically these businessmen. Samuel L. Jackson runs a club called the Plantation Club, and
Fitting.
yeah. And I was like, that's not. At first, I was like, is that good or bad? He's like, I guess they reclaim it. They're having fun at the plantation at this point. That's what it is. And Cole Meany's in this for a minute. He does a good job. He's really good. James Dumont is in this. I like him a lot. A couple of people you would recognize, but it's a fast moving movie. It's a little over 2 hours, and I felt like it was over in a second.
Oh,
It was very like blink, in a snap. I was at the halfway point. I'm like, wow, I can't wait for more, And throughout the movie, they have their success of buying all these buildings. And I was thinking, oh, he's just gonna buy this one building, and it's gonna be about this grumpy neighbor or tenant or whatever that doesn't want black people, working at our building or owning the building and stuff. And I'm like, oh, by the end of the movie, she's gonna turn around. She's gonna be his best friend. And it's like, she's gone so fucking fast. It's way bigger scale than that. It's not one building. They end up buying like 170 buildings.
Jeez.
Like they're big timing.
Yeah.
And then he decides to buy a bank building in Los Angeles, a famous bank building. And then he decides to go back to his hometown and try to reform it. And he tries to buy the actual bank in his hometown in Texas. And that gets much messier, running a bank. And he's a very, very smart man. He's like a savant from his childhood. So anyways, that's called The Banker from 2020. Really, really great story, great, real life event that happened. And then at the end, they show the pictures of the real people and stuff, which I always love. Really fucking good. By the end of it, he has to testify in front of Congress and answer in front of Congress.
Oh, okay.
So it goes all the way to the top, baby.
Yeah. All the way.
All the way to the top. Yeah. So The Banker 2020 streaming on Apple TV.
Okay.
Next up, got a couple of new releases. Mountainhead. You guys heard of that one?
No.
That's streaming on Max right now. It's about a bunch of billionaires, the richest people in the world.
This is Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
Right?
Yeah, it's Steve Carell. Let me get the list here. Who's in it? 'Cause I'm going to butcher that. It's the guy that plays Chevy Chase too.
Oh,
Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, Corey Michael Smith, who's the guy that plays him, and then Rami Youssef.
oh, okay.
Those are like the main four, and they're all billionaires. Well, Jason Schwartzman, they call him Soup, like SOUP, and because he's so poor, he needs to work in a soup kitchen because he doesn't have $1 billion. He has like 500 million or something.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of people you're working with.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And then Steve Carell is the richest man in the world.
okay.
And he, at the very beginning of the movie, he finds out he has this inoperable cancer, and he's like wrestling with whether can he save it, and through the guy that plays Chevy Chase, he plays like a young dickhead, sort of like a Mark Zuckerberg now rather than Mark Zuckerberg 10 years ago.
Okay.
Seems like a douche, acts more like a playboy, trying to be cool, and he's just a total douche. And he comes up, he just had released this new AI algorithm for video production that allows the people to make any sort of video that they want. And it's basically, there are countries that are making testimonials from their rival countries' citizens saying that they are like are basically actively overturning the government and stuff like that. And so there's militant response to these fake videos.
Okay.
And all these countries around the world are basically starting to crumble, like literal unrest. Like the mayor of Paris, France, murdered in the streets. Like there's fire, buildings burning all over the world, and they're in this mountaintop, cabin having boys' weekend, and they're like watching. They're like, man, Indonesia's going crazy right now. I wonder what that's doing to my stocks. And they're checking their portfolios.
Does it say
shit.
where they are? Like country-wise?
Utah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're up in mountains in Utah. And it's interesting.
This is a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Very timely.
It's a movie? I thought this was real life.
No, like a series.
It sounds like a series.
It's not a series. It's just they honestly could probably make it into a series. But the problem is that a lot of this stuff that they're talking about, they're like, oh well, if the United States fully collapses, shit, why don't we just take over? You know, you can run Argentina, and I'll run the West Coast, and you can run the East Coast and stuff. And you're like, are they serious or are they joking? And then do they actually have the means for that? And they kind of make it seem like they do it all from their phones, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, go in the other room. There's a web call for all the Argentinian government waiting for you, Soup. Go in there.
Oh.
And then he goes in there, and they're fucking waiting on a web call for him. I'm like,
wait a minute.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of jumps back and forth between like a very grounded reality based thing and like a very fantastical sort of this could never happen sort of thing.
Like a parody. Almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Like,
almost like a
they
parody.
really do have all this power, the rich.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's worth watching, but the second half really let me down, and then it gets into some weird like murder plot stuff, which I thought was good. That stuff was good because it's the most awkward guys you can imagine.
Yeah,
trying to kill somebody. So, so that's on HBO Max, and just hit streaming. Not a brand new release, but very close to new release on Amazon Prime. The Accountant 2.
It's already on.
Already on Prime.
Wow.
Accountant 1, the first accountant, was basically Ben Affleck as an accountant for the mob. He has autism and he's a killer. And that's all you need to know.
All right.
And he's, in this one, it's about the same, but he's now past that first plot of whatever drama is going on. And now he's just here. And he has a detective is trying to get to the bottom of some plot, something. She's on the case. And she basically taps him as a, we know you're really smart. We know maybe, what do you think about all these clues? Who do you think this person is, his assassination thing, whatever. So he kind of helps her, but then does his own like extra illegal activities to help her. And she doesn't like that, but he's like, well, you asked me for help here. I'm going to beat this fucking guy up. Or I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Know? And at some point, John Bernthal is joined as his partner.
Oh.
And John Bernthal is so fucking funny in this. The whole
funny?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Both of them are hilarious. This is...
Does he also have autism?
I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit. So if you don't want to watch it get spoiled, fast forward like 30 seconds or whatever, but they're brothers. And Ben Affleck is the older brother. Okay.
Do they know this?
Yes. John Bernthal does not have autism. But he's kind of resents his brother for it because he's like, I've been looking for you for for 25 years, man. And I show up and you never even once reached out to me. And he's like, why would I? Because I'm your brother. Yeah, but you know I love you. I don't need to talk to you every day to tell you that. And it's like, and so it's the bad parts about this is that Ben Affleck goes in and out of being like very autistic, like visually autistic.
Selectively.
Yeah, and then other times not so much. He's like playing it up sometimes and like stuttering through conversations, and other times it's just he's like a badass. So that was a little weird. And there's a couple good action pieces, but they need like one more good action piece to make this thing really good.
To make it sing.
All that being said, it was very fun.
Cool.
Super, super fun movie. I would highly recommend to watch this.
The Accountant 2.
The Accountant 2.
I never thought that would get a sequel.
I didn't either. When it was released, I'm like, I'm fucking in, 100%. Because the first one was so goofy. You're like weaponized autism as a mob.
Weaponized autism
with a fucking sniper rifle.
They should put Ben Affleck against a Predator.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, there we go.
Speaking of which, also just hit Hulu's Predator: Killer of Killers. This is an animated feature-length movie. It's exactly 90 minutes, and it's an anthology.
Oh, it's an anthology.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
There are 3 stories of warriors throughout history, mankind. And I will not elaborate on that because half the fun is like seeing it happen as it happens. But basically, the 3 warriors in separate timelines of human existence have to all face off against these predators. And the predators are not carbon copies of each other. One of them's like a fucking he's like a 10-foot tall monster. One of them's like thin and lanky, and then one of them is
regular size.
One of them doesn't even have the dreads. He's out of his suit the whole time.
One was just average.
Yeah, one of them looks like a
regular size predator
or something. But Dan Trachtenberg is the guy that did Prey, and he directed this and wrote this as well.
Oh, really?
So and
he did all 3.
Yeah, it's all together.
Oh, okay.
It's his whole project.
Is it all the same animation style?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it does tie it together at the end in a cohesive bow. So there's fan service here. There's things I never thought I'd see a Predator do before. There's extremely gory R-rated adult kills throughout in all 3 sequences and a little bit afterwards that are like, I didn't really know what to expect from like a Predator that's attacking a friggin' Viking or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get it, you're like, oh, that's interesting. It's like a manual weapon it's halfway hybrid with the sort of like alien energy pulse and stuff. And she has to fight it. It's a warrior Viking fighting him and stuff. That's the first story, so it's not a spoiler. But yeah, really, really fucking good. It reminded me of a cross between like Blue Eye Samurai and Arcane, and those are 2 like the greatest animated series in my opinion, and they've been released to like the general public recently. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you could do way, way worse. I mean, I'm definitely gonna rewatch it, but it was a super, super fun time and just everything I wanted in a Predator movie. So
nice.
That's on Hulu. Predator, Killer of Killers.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. On to me. I have kind of not a lot of streaming picks, but a lot for me. If anyone doesn't know, I don't really like movies or watching them or anything like. I'm just kidding. But I'm just gonna start off with.
Whoa.
I'm gonna start off with one that I watched last night. 2009's The Slammin' Salmon, made by the.
Is this a kind of movie? Is this?
It's a Broken Lizard movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Hidden Island, or I can't remember what it was. It was. I think it was part of like whatever the Super Trooper guys
Broken
do.
Lizard.
Broken Lizard. Okay. This one is it's about a guy who buys a restaurant after quitting his own restaurant job and takes a loan out from the mob, and then he has to make $20,000 in a night to pay his debt.
In a night?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And well, I mean, it's like a high scale restaurant. Like it's not like just like some rinky
diner, not Black Bear.
Called the Slammin' Salmon.
The Slammin' Salmon.
That's the name of the restaurant.
Yes.
It's not high end then.
Well, they frame it in that way. Like
gotta go to a Slammin' Salmon.
Like a bunch of it's like a bunch of it's a bunch of like rich people who go to this restaurant.
Called the Slammin' Salmon.
That is the funny part about the movie.
Oh, yes, dear. Where should we celebrate our nuptials? Our 50th anniversary.
The Slammin' Salmon.
How about the Slammin' Salmon?
Oh, I do say.
So this movie, if you objectively review this movie on its own merit, it's really dumb. But the bits are really funny and really well acted as far as like the comedic features of it. It's a movie where you could, like, if you were like, like cooking dinner and washing the dishes, like the story is so simple that like you don't have to like sit down and watch it.
You don't even have to watch it.
I mean, this is literally the epitome of a movie that could be on TikTok.
Epitome.
Yeah. I don't care. Whatever.
We should do that. We should pronounce this word correctly.
Written out.
Epitome. Anyways, Slammin' Salmon. It's a fun movie. It's to turn your brain off. Like,
is it as good as Super Troopers?
Or
Beer Fest?
I mean, it's not as iconic as those movies, but the humor is, I would say, on the same level. But has the same
like cast?
Yeah.
Same 5 guys.
Yeah.
Super Troopers has a 90% audience score, 36% critic. Beer Fest has 75% audience score, 41% critic.
Mm-hmm.
Slammin' Salmon 48% audience score.
Yeah, I mean, it's the weaker
of the nose with the rubber hose.
It's the weaker of the movies, but it's still it's funny.
I've been meaning to watch it because I like Broken Lizard.
Yeah.
How about Club Dread?
I don't know anything about it.
That's another Broken Lizard movie, I believe.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Dread, I watched Blue Ruin.
Oh.
Same
rating as Slammin' Salmon.
Oh, okay.
The Club Dread.
Oh yes, Slam and Salmon is on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salmon.
Yeah. So I caught up with Blue Ruin.
Okay.
And
nice.
I was really confused about whether or not I like this movie. I think that the cadence of the plot felt right. I think it on the surface it was a good movie, but I just feel like the story was really weak. And I just the decisions that the main character makes is incredibly frustrating, and I all in all I don't regret watching this movie, but I would not watch it again.
What decisions?
Just like his decisions of when he's like getting attacked, and when he has the guy in the trunk, and like I don't know. It seemed like it was really nonsensical stuff that he was deciding.
It's a man with nothing to lose anymore.
Yeah, and no training.
That's true. However, I did like.
It's like if you went on revenge for something.
Yeah.
No, because I would be a lot more ruthless. I would not.
He was pretty ruthless.
Not really. No, he definitely like. So again, like the indiscriminate like headshots like that they do in movies, like that would be me. Like I would not go like.
You think you'd have that good of aim?
No, even with like a high caliber rifle, he wasn't able to shoot anyone. Like it.
Yeah, I know.
I have good aim.
That would never happen. If I was on that plane, things would have gone different.
You see what? But you're injecting too much of your own. Like,
True.
I wouldn't do that. I could get out of that bed, no problem.
Yeah, I mean maybe
it's like Gerald's game all over.
Why don't you just break the bedpost?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I found myself more frustrated than enjoying the movie, but the movie did look good, and I thought it didn't overstay its welcome. So that's Blue Ruin. That is on Netflix as well.
It definitely has some frustrating components to it because you're like, just do this, but you're like, oh yeah, he's a normal dude.
Yeah,
which is what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wrestled with myself. I was like, did I like this movie? It's like, yeah, I did like this movie, but
it was no like Liam Neeson type training or anything like that. Or
I did
this guy says, I don't have a particular set of skills,
but I have a gun.
Yeah,
and I don't have a gun yet, but I will get a gun.
Yeah, so Blue Ruin, I think it's worth checking out. That's on Netflix as well, and I also watched an older movie, 1954's Rear Window.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Now, that one is a good movie. That is like a really good movie.
Oh, that's a movie.
Like while I was watching this movie, I was thinking to myself, this would totally be me. Like if I had a broken leg in a second story apartment with a camera, like I would be spying on everyone.
You can do that without a broken leg.
Yeah. I think that's an indictment that he's what he actually does now.
You could spawn even more people without a broken leg.
That's not.
Angie, come here.
There's a man over there.
No, she.
I think you killed that woman.
I think Alfred Hitchcock is just in the way that he directed this movie. You really felt helpless, just like the main character, because you're sitting there immobilized, and and what I really liked is like I wish that there was no serious crime being committed. Like
you want to be like the Simpsons episode,
right? Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Obviously, because they parodied that movie, but.
I was wondering that when I first watched this a couple years ago, and I was thinking the same thing. I
took this from The Simpsons.
I was like, I wonder if it's actually going to be a misunderstanding or if it's real.
Yeah. That was
it's real, baby.
Yeah, it's real, and I wish that Alfred Hitchcock went into the way where they pull the rug under from you, and it's like, no, this guy was just being a creep. Anyways,
He was jacking off the whole time.
That would have been me.
the performances were very, very good in this movie. It feels timeless in a way, because I mean, Disturbia kind of has the same sort of story.
Yep.
And so it's
Except he goes into the house.
Yeah. So
and Jimmy Stewart also gets his Xbox account canceled by his mom.
Yeah. He's also on house arrest.
So I think it feels timeless. Like, I feel that you could show this to anyone, and I mean, I obviously like the way that it looks. You can tell it's an old movie, but the storytelling and the acting does not feel of its time. It feels just like a regular good movie.
It's good to fall into top 10 protagonists whose girlfriends are throwing themselves at them, and they couldn't care less.
Yeah, that was frustrating
What's
to
another
me.
Fright Night. Charlie, and it's also looking into his neighbor's window.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's a vampire.
Rear window.
There's a vampire over there.
Rear window.
Charlie, bang me. I can't.
How can you think about sex at a time like this?
There might be a vampire next to it.
I think there's either a murderer or even a vampire.
Maybe both.
Oh my god, that's great. That's great stuff. All right,
Where's that streaming?
that's on Netflix. It recently just got added on Netflix too, so get it while it's hot. Then I caught up with The Wild Robot.
Oh, very nice.
Holy shit, that movie
Feeling
was yeah, it definitely, I needed that. I'll give you context for it.
Did you cry? I cried thrice.
I got choked up, but I didn't shed a tear.
Okay.
What? So I'm gonna. I haven't been on Letterboxd in a long time, but this movie compelled me to write a review on Letterboxd.
Okay. Oh,
so
do I have the drop? I don't have the drop.
do you have it?
I don't. I took it off because you stopped reading them.
Yeah. Well, it's
I'll
okay.
insert drop here.
Okay. So,
Note for edit.
Yeah.
Put Tyler drop here.
The Wild Robot 2024. I gave it 4 stars. Okay, it goes like this. Such a sweet movie. Such a sweet movie to warm the heart. The animation style was unique, and the cadence of the movie was very smooth. I kick myself for not seeing this in theaters. I think the sound design was great. Just a solid, wholesome film. Now to kick back and reside in the bleak reality of the shit-talking that is the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 lobby. Yeah.
Black Ops 7 just got announced.
I can't even believe they're doing that. Anyways, yeah, The Wild Robot. But based on both of your recommendations, I watched it because I was sitting there one night, just kind of like doom scrolling like streaming services to try to find out what to watch, and then The Wild Robot came on one of my recommendation lists, and I remembered, I was like, you know what? I haven't watched this. I should watch this movie because it comes highly regarded. And yeah, it's super wholesome. And I really love the Fox character. He's a pistol. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really good movie. The ending kind of lacked for me a little bit, but the beginning where they're raising the goose, where the robot's raising the goose, that was very fun.
When he was a baby still?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was really cool.
Like the whole, just the whole beginning and middle was phenomenal, but the ending kind of lacked. I knew they had to end it somehow. And I think what really did it for me was it's like, it was the journey to get to the end is what I was more interested than the
what actually happened
ending.
there. Yeah.
But yeah, and I like the I guess you would call it an allegory for like the migration and like, moving on and growing up and stuff like that. At the end, I liked that point that they were making. But I was more interested in like the robot, like socializing with all the animals. The one thing that I do have a criticism about it though is that none of those animals would be staying in that cave together.
That's the point.
That's why it's a children's story.
Yeah, yeah. But they would all kill each other.
this would never happen.
Robots like that don't exist. It would run out of energy.
True.
You're telling me a robot
But I mean,
raised this goose?
But that's just that's a very contrarian thing for me to say. I just kind of chuckled at myself for even like conjuring up that thought.
I imagine you at a restaurant or whatever by yourself, and there's a group of excitable people behind you talking glowingly about this movie. You turn around.
You know, most of those are predators.
That bear would kill all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Just so you know.
I'm not that much of a dick, but but the reason why so to preface, I watched The Wild Robot. After I watched this horrific documentary by HBO called Paradise Lost: The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills. Have you guys ever heard of this documentary before?
No.
Only because HBO has recommended it to me.
Oh, interesting. No.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a very, very shocking documentary right out of the gate, because it shows dead, naked second grade boys.
Really?
In the beginning.
Damn.
And so I thought
That's a Tyler's reaction.
that's not true.
Whoa.
So when I saw,
Feeling good.
and,
I'm about to have the hardest boner.
stop
right
it.
Talk about your weird movie.
Okay. So they do not hold any punches. Like right in the first 5 minutes, you see naked dead children, naked dead boys, in this creek in West Memphis, and I thought, because you know how sometimes like documentaries like they do like reenactments,
Yeah.
and so the person who recommended me this documentary, I asked them, I was like, is this real or is this a reenactment? Because this is really graphic. And they were like, no, it's real. I was like, holy shit. It's about the brutal murders of 3 second graders who were found in this creek. And they accused these 3 teenagers of killing the said boys because they were devil worshipping and doing a ritualistic sacrifice.
Oh.
And the point of the whole movie is that they're trying to the documentary is definitely trying to frame those teenagers as innocent, which after you watch it, you will come to the conclusion that they were innocent, because there's a lot of corruption within the justice system of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Especially
Memphis.
Well, yeah.
You said West Memphis.
Yeah, isn't that in Arkansas?
Tennessee.
Oh, well, I think there's a West Memphis in Arkansas too.
Oh, interesting.
That don't make no sense.
I don't know. I mean, they mentioned West Memphis in there too, but
West Memphis is a city in Arkansas.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. And so basically, it's about it's filming the trial of these
right
3
next
boys.
to Graceland, actually.
And yeah, it's pretty frustrating.
This is a movie or a series?
It's a documentary. There's three documentary movies based on the case. This is the first one.
Wait, it's a feature-length documentary? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's not like episodes.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not episodic. It's just because. So yeah, the first one is frustrating. You can come to your own conclusions. Then I watched the second one. So that one is, I actually had to rent. It's worth the rental though, for sure.
You watched all 3 of these?
I haven't watched the third one yet. So going into the second one, which is streaming free on YouTube, that one is a lot more faster paced, less graphic.
What is that one called?
It's Paradise Lost Revelations. And
okay.
this one, it's a follow-up from the trial because it's the boys who are appealing their case because one of the boys, Damien Eccles, he was given the death penalty.
Oh, wow.
So and this one, it's a lot more faster paced, so it grabs your attention a little bit more. This one is frustrating as hell because they get a criminal what I can't remember what his title was, but it's basically a guy who like goes over like all the evidence for the appeals trial, and he's like saying like, well, why wasn't this accounted for, and like just basically like auditing the
Criminal justice lawyer.
Well, it's not. He's not a lawyer. He's like a consultant.
Oh, okay. Are all of these made by the same people?
Yes.
So it's like a trilogy of this case.
Yeah. So the second one is about the appeals trial, and the court system realized their error in their ways by allowing the documentary people to film the whole trial. So they didn't film the trial at all. So like it's mostly interviews like with the victims' families and like the people who are the mothers of the boys who are in prison and the boys in prison who are now in their 20s.
When did this happen? The case, I guess, or the murders.
It happened in 93. The documentary came out in 96.
Oh, this is older.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Heather says she remembers this happening when it happened live.
Yeah, it's frustrating as hell, man. Like because it's so blatant, like of the in like the inconsistencies like with what they're charged for and how they got to that conclusion. And I already kind of knew like what was gonna happen based on like the location of like where they were being tried at.
This documentary is 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's a long one, but it's good. It's good. I promise you that. And it's a very graphic though. If just be forewarned.
Okay. It reminds me of Making a Murderer, that Netflix series.
Yes.
Docu-series.
Yeah.
It's similar where you're like, they're pretty confident that they got the right guy, and then as the story unfolds, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and then I watched a couple of their murder documentaries as well that were really good, but I'm not going to mention it now because I was already going too long on this one, Paradise Lost. But so those are my streaming picks for the
Where
week.
can you find them though? Paradise Lost 1 and 2.
I'm sure you can find them on HBO. But I rented the first.
Sure.
I rented the first one on Amazon Prime, and then I watched the second one on YouTube.
Michael Elliott gave the first one 5 stars.
Really? Cool.
Which is weird because he only does 4 stars.
He reserves 5 stars for classics, like
well,
the all-star, like the best of the best.
Michael Elliott.
5 stars for Paradise Lost, which is
it says streaming for free on Hoopla, the first one. The child murders at Robin
Witchcraft or Witch Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. But the reason why I watched The Wild Robot was because I just got out of Paradise Lost, and I was like,
that was your palate cleanser.
I was just about to say I needed a palate cleanser. I needed something to warm my heart.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, that is it.
Okay, cool. You guys got anything else?
No.
Okay, cool. Thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, and Chris. And Heather's in the chat. Thanks, Heather. Thanks for being here. Appreciate the support and chime in on that. She says that those kids were picked as guilty because they were heavy metal kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wore black.
Oh no.
In Arkansas.
Yeah. And it turns out West Memphis is just on the opposite side of the Mississippi River from Memphis, Tennessee. So it's like on the state line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's almost like Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, until next time. Thank you all for joining us as we gab and chatter today. Joseph's back, baby. We didn't play the drop.
I know. I just thought about it.
Ah, shit.
Oh, well.
That's all right. Follow us later on today or later on in the week as we review Chinatown. Tyler's pick for Detective June.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And on TikTok, Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
That's right. Stick around if you're on the live chat. We'll be back about 15 minutes. Otherwise, we'll see you later.
See you next time.
See ya.
Feeling good.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class, the first edition of Detective June. I'm your host for today, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Peter.
And we are going to be reviewing our first detective movie for this month, Chinatown. Oh, yeah.
In Chinatown.
What were you doing there?
Working for the district attorney.
Doing what?
As little as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an edit.
Yeah.
As little as possible. What's that?
The hell you say to me? I assume that's the end. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, what better way to start off Detective June than with the all-time classic Chinatown, starring Jack Nicholson and some other people.
The rest.
For anyone who doesn't know, Chinatown's directed by someone who I look up to, Roman Polanski.
The late great Roman Polanski.
It's about this movie is about a private detective hired to expose an adulterer in 1930s Los Angeles finds himself caught up in a web of deceit, corruption, and murder.
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 What about the murders? What murders?
Yeah. So I chose detective movies because I think that I like the idea of detective movies. I like especially the sort of noir style of those kinds of movies, and I like a good mystery movie as well.
Yeah.
And I think well, we'll get into Chinatown. But anyways, yeah, that's why I chose it. And plus, I didn't really know what to choose when we were doing this anyway. So like,
whatever, fuck it, whatever.
I mean, well, I was on a True Detective high, and so I was like, detective.
Besides True Detective, what other like great detective movies do you like? Because you haven't seen Chinatown before, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Or is it like Joseph, where he didn't particularly care for or know spaghetti westerns?
Well, I mean, I've seen the Batman for one.
Okay.
All the Batman movies.
Something before 2020.
Well, yeah, all the Batman movies. Yeah, they're detective movies. 7 is a good one.
Yeah. Blade Runner.
Blade Runner 2049.
Well, the original.
And
I guess the new one, yeah.
I think I like the sequel more than the original. I gotta be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one is a lot better.
Correct.
To a lesser extent, Sicario in a way is kind of
a crime thriller. It's not really a detective.
I guess that's true.
It's a detective movie if the main character is the detective, right?
And they're working on a specific case. I think maybe it's a detective movie.
I guess
she's not a detective though.
That's why I said it's like
she's a special agent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Narcotics officer.
Red Dragon. That's a good one.
Okay.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs. I just like a good mystery, and Chinatown I had not seen before, but I know the music of it. I know it's iconic. I've listened to the music, however, I have not watched the movie.
Oh, okay.
So
you've listened to the Chinatown music, like the soundtrack?
Yeah.
Why? Just in the car?
Yeah. Yeah, like when I would be delivering, and it would be like at nighttime, I just throw on the.
Okay, yeah. That song.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
My favorite song from the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's just so yeah. I mean, so anyways, let's just go around the table for our initial thoughts. Joseph, was this your first time watching Chinatown, and did you like it?
Okay. Yes, it was my first time watching Chinatown. I've known of Chinatown for a very long time. I've seen it referenced a lot in other things. Most notably, forget about it. It's Chinatown.
Yeah, forget about it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
It's that quote has been used differently in other things that I've watched, and that's the only thing I know about it. And the sliced nose.
Yep.
The bandaged face look of Jack Nicholson's character.
Nosy little kitty cat.
And that's really all I knew about it. I didn't really know anything else. What it was about, why they sliced his nose.
Yeah.
Why he had to forget about it because it was Chinatown. So that I didn't know it was a detective movie at all until I guess more in the last couple of years that I've learned more about it, but didn't watch it until this weekend. And yes, I did like it. I liked it quite a bit. I thought the mystery was really good. The setting of LA, the whole water controversy and where it's going, and if it's like corruption of someone just wanting to make more money, right? It's always money based with these people.
Always.
And then that being unraveled, and then another aspect of a character of Faye Dunaway's character being revealed much later in the movie. And I thought that's I guess like subplot of the that character or those characters was really interesting that Roman Polanski included that, and they made him a villain even though
which subplot?
The dad and the daughter.
Oh yeah.
I was
like, Polanski made this movie and he portrayed him as not a good guy.
To be fair, he was just the director. He didn't write it. The story was written in whole cloth by who's the writer? Robert Town.
Was interesting. And I don't know the timeline of events, of real life events versus when this movie was made. I just thought that was an interesting parallel to to include. And
yes,
but other than
he's a bad guy though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
like yeah, this guy's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not a bad guy.
Oh, I see.
But the movie itself was like the story was really good, and I liked this sort of the noir aspect of it without it being like a traditional noir, even though it was made in what
1974.
74, yeah.
74. It felt like an accessible noir movie.
Yeah.
Like before you would get into like Double Indemnity or something like that.
Maltese Falcon.
Like before diving deep into those movies, you could watch this movie as like a gateway, I think, because it's a little bit more, it's not as stark as if you're not used to watching black and white movies that have like that really hard contrast.
And the transatlantic accent everybody's got.
Hey, see?
Yeah. This is like a good, like, I feel like happy medium of modern filmmaking and noir filmmaking.
That's a good way to put it.
And there's a lot of really great shots in this movie. Really great looking scenes and compositions, and I can't really find anything negative to say about it. I really enjoyed it. I did really like the mystery and the way it was edited and the reveals of everything, and the way it was paced, and the sort of bleakness ending.
Yeah.
Where it didn't get solved, really.
No.
No.
And you just got cops being cops and just fucking shooting someone running away.
Yeah.
Driving away.
You could have easily shot the girl, too. The young girl.
I know.
Like how her whole friggin' head was blown open, like the eye.
Yeah.
Eye.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn.
Yeah. But I mean,
guns will do that.
and even like that was like sort of anticlimactic, but at the same time very dramatic. Because it kind of comes out of nowhere. You don't expect something like that to happen in the story, because you're getting all this information, all these answers are coming out, and like all the answers you're getting, and then all of a sudden it was all for nothing now.
Well, plus the grandpa was shot, so you kind of assumed he was going to die, but he just takes in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like he was more annoyed that he got shot.
Yeah.
He was like, cramp. But yeah, I really liked it.
Cool. Pete, I'm sure this is not your first time watching this movie.
No. I was surprised I didn't own it on physical media because I really love this movie. And just for reference, Joseph, 1977, 3 years later after the release was when the alleged rape happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happened or was reported?
The alleged rape would have happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know when the report happened or whatever. I think it's the same year, actually. Yeah, grand jury indicted Polanski on 6 felony charges, including rape, furnishing a controlled substance to a minor, and sodomy. Ooh.
Nice.
What? Shut the fuck up, Tyler. All right, Chinatown. This is what I think of when I think of like a modern, quote unquote, modern detective movie. Even though it's 74, it feels like it could have been made today with a throwback feel. And it's like, it took a very I think difficult to approach genre, like the classic noir with the black and white and the what's the word I'm looking for, like the narrator speaking over about what's happening and all that kind of stuff, and just over dramatic acting and very clear heroes and villain stories that are of a lot of the stuff from that like 30s to 50s era, and updated it for something that is really, really enjoyable to watch and just exciting too. Yeah. Like I forgot every time it's probably been about 6 or 7 years since I watched this last, and I always forget how many times he's like on the edge of death. Like he's almost dead. Like he could have killed him at the reservoir instead of slicing his nose. When he's at the rest home, they could have easily killed him right then. And she fucking comes out with the convertible. He hops on the running board. Just, whoop! And it's like so many times he's like really is in mortal peril. Yeah. And I appreciated that because it makes for an exciting movie. And at the same time, as you're watching it, you're like, there's the weird brooch that fell into the pond, and he sees that at the very beginning, the first act. Yeah. And then he sees it in the end, and it adds more to the story, and it kind of blows more open. So it's really well written in that regard because
withholding information.
Yeah.
Until later, till the throwaway line, guys like, yeah, salt water bad for grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wait,
Salt water? What did you say?
Hold on a second. Yeah. But it's fantastically written, fantastically acted. Everybody's doing their best. I think that Faye Dunaway is a holdout from like that era.
Yeah.
And she's definitely giving a classic Hollywood performance. It's like over the top and maybe too much.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that transatlantic still stuck.
She does, yeah. But she really feels like somebody who's broken, and you can see the nervousness in her, and the constant changing of the story, and she really embodies that character very well, even if it is a little over the top for what you would expect on a more modern, style movie. Because John Huston, the big bad, not hamming it up crazily.
Yeah.
He's just matter of fact that guy.
Yeah.
And
the dad, right?
Yeah, the grandpa dad.
Grandpa dad.
And then of course Detective Gittes, just the fucking coolest.
Yeah.
He's so cool. Except for that part where he's telling that stupid joke and they're trying to tell him not to.
Yeah.
And you're like, for one, not a very funny joke. For two, your guys are telling you to shut the fuck up. You know for a reason. Most of the time they'll just placate you because you're the boss. So if they're telling you to shut up, there's probably a good reason for that.
Yeah.
I think that was the one time he felt out of character, written out of character.
Yeah,
It's kind of in the beginning too.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyways, I all in all, this is just a phenomenal movie. It's one of my favorites. I freaking love this movie.
Yeah.
And it is a damn shame that Roman Polanski's name is attached to it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a damn shame that he fucking did that.
I know.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. More specifically,
I just don't understand. Where
I don't know if he was ever actunot actually convicted of it.
No,
or
because
not.
he fled the country
fled the
like a little
country.
bitch.
Yeah, which is probably
Not a good sign.
Not a good sign. Yeah, exactly.
He clearly knew he was innocent. He knew he was gonna get charged with these horrific, heinous crimes, and he's like, "Well, I can just go to what was it, France that you went to? That
I think he went to Switzerland.
I think it was Switzerland too. It's been around.
Yeah, so anywhere where there's not like an
You said he
extradition.
clearly knew that he was innocent.
No, they would know you're twisting my words. I said
Whoa.
he clearly knew he
Feeling
wasn't
Okay.
innocent. And I mean, like him like fleeing the country was just like kind of like everyone's like, oh yeah, so he actually did it. Like instead of like, facing the trial, like he was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna win this trial. I gotta skip town. And yeah, I mean it really stinks.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna continue my initial thoughts.
Please go ahead.
It really stinks, yeah, that he was his name was solely like that, right? Your hero.
Your words, not mine.
Tyler doesn't take his shirt off very often because he's got that full back piece of Polanski. It's like the Virgin Mary, but it's Polanski. He's got a champagne glass and a sedative in it, holding it.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, just a delightful movie, start to finish. Still to this day, I referenced on this show a couple of times when you talk about people doing cool tactics on how to.
Oh yes,
like running over the
that was the other thing I really loved about it.
Ah, so cool.
That was cool.
The kicking of the taillight was, it seemed like had a lot of point to it, but
I think it was
probably cool in theory.
Yeah, I think it's just a little harder to tail people back then, and like your headlights are not really very. If you've ever driven a car from the 1940s or 50s, they don't work that well. Mm-hmm. So at night, trying to tail somebody, if that gets too far away from you and you just got two red taillights, but one of them is white, that's the one you're following. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so there's some really cool like chicanery going on, with JJ Gittes.
I like that. I like the innovation.
Yeah, the little
intuitiveness
of it. Very, very clever. So, anyways, I'm. Just a delight. Still 5-star movie. Still
nice.
Spoiler alert.
Nice. Yeah. First time I'm watching it. Like I said at the top of the show, I listened to the music because the music is really iconic. It's really moody for if you're like driving in the rain or in the dark. It makes you feel like you're in a movie. And yeah, I agree with both of you. Like, I think like the cleverness of Jake was very well done. The actress, what was her name again?
Faye Dunaway.
Faye Dunaway. You know, I agree with that. She was like, you know, kind of carrying over like the old Hollywood acting into a modern filmmaking. And I thought that as well. But what I thought was that she's overacting because, you know, she's deeply troubled and she comes from a family of wealth, and so she's just being dramatic because that's just who she is as a person. Like, she's not grounded in reality. So I thought that like maybe it was kind of like a representative of like just her being like just this broken, over dramatic person. I thought the overall case in this movie was unique. It wasn't just like, you know, like a murder mystery or something like that. It was definitely another like grounded in reality situation where I could see this happening in like a modern movie and still like being successful.
Well, also, it's when you have like this guy wants to kill that person, the scale is very small. This activity shaped the entire landscape of like the San Fernando Valley and Los Angeles as a whole.
Yeah, and I think when he gets his nose cut, that was he, like you said, Pete, like he was in mortal danger throughout the whole movie. And there was this one line he says, like he's like, I'm not a cop. Like he was talking to the girl, and he's like, just tell me I'm not a cop. And kind of puts it in perspective, like he'll solve this case by any means necessary, whereas like a cop on the books at least have to follow rules, whereas he's a PI and he doesn't. And the pacing of this movie just felt fine. I didn't find myself like getting bored at any point in the movie. It's not to say that it's like constant action, but it's always there's not a boring scene. Like everything will all like, I found that all of the whole movie was like, I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. I really loved it, and I think we are all in agreement that we all give this a high grade. So let's get into Chinatown.
I think we already got into it. Do you know that the real Chinatown was demolished in Los Angeles right before this film was set?
Really?
It's set in 1937.
Yeah.
And the original Chinatown was demolished. Let me see if I could find the actual.
I kept like getting confused on when, like, I know it was pre-war
37,
but I was getting confused on, like, personally, I was getting confused like when it was actually supposed to be set, because it felt like it was supposed to take place in the 60s, but then I would see the cars and I'd be like, no.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was under that same impression as well, that it seemed like
the modernness of the filmmaking clashed with the setting of
Yeah.
But I think some of the dialogue helped with that too. There was some of the dialogue didn't feel like 1930s dialogue.
Yeah, because I'm also expecting sort of that transatlantic sort of
Yeah.
feel to it. But this is also in LA. That also, like, the proximity of it also, it felt a lot closer to me than like a movie like Double Indemnity or Maltese Falcon or anything like that. Yeah.
So the original Chinatown in Los Angeles was demolished between 1933 and 1936 to make way for Union Station. The current Chinatown that's there now, was located a few blocks away, was opened in 1938. So the only time that LA had no official Chinatown was actually in 37, the year the film was set. Surprisingly.
Wow.
A lot of hatred on the set, a lot of fighting on the set.
Really?
Roman Polanski fought with Jack Nicholson. He's a famous Los Angeles Lakers fan, right? Everybody knows he's a Lakers fan. He had a portable TV on set, and he would just be watching the game and delaying shoots and stuff. Polanski smashed his TV with a mop.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and also
you get on set right now.
And also Faye Dunaway and Polanski would argue a lot on set. And during one of the arguments, Polanski pulled out some of Faye Dunaway's hair.
Oh my God.
And then she basically said, I need to know what my motivation is. What's my character motivation? And he says, just say the fucking words, your salary is your motivation. It's quoted.
That's such an asshole move.
I know.
Jesus Christ. That's like a fucking...
It's a weird direction.
That's like Alec Baldwin's character in that one movie where he plays the businessman.
Glenn Ross.
Yeah. God damn.
Get him to sign on the line that is dotted.
I drove a BMW to work today. You drove a Hyundai.
That's my fucking name.
Yeah.
So there's also that line that's in the edit, the fan edit that we saw instead of the trailer today. There's what do you do in Chinatown? As little as possible. That was based on a real life conversation between Robert Towne, the writer, and a vice cop who used to work in Chinatown. The cop was explaining to him that due to the complicated use of dialects and multiple gangs acting in Chinatown and LA, the police were uncertain whether their own actions were actually helping the crime victims or assisting gangs in exploiting the victims. So they just basically said, we're going to stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Try to keep the chaos to a minimum.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting that Jack Nicholson's character was a former cop, but he still had a lot of pull with the police. Like he
is the best detective. That's a common trope in detective movies too.
Yeah,
is they were on the force, something happened, maybe something tragic, and then now they went into the PI, the private dick business.
It's like spaghetti westerns with a man out for revenge.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's a common trope with that detective being a PI or detective turned PI. Man, you know, there's been times where like I really wanted to be a PI because of my affinity for like detective work.
For your stalking? Wait, your affinity for it?
Yeah.
You mean you're good at it or you like it?
I like it.
Okay, good.
But
that's not what affinity means.
But I have a average to below average intelligence. So I've reconciled that with myself, and I like the idea of it. So I'm thinking maybe I should just, you know, like find like an audition in like a movie or a play to play a detective instead of actually doing the work.
Or you could be I'll just pretend to be one instead of just actually doing
exactly
it. Or you could be like the kid detective. You could just solve people's like, who stole my bike?
You know what?
Start small.
And then I dress like with it like in a fedora and like, you know, like all the like the 30s garb and like just go door to door and it's like, are you missing a cat here, see?
Here, see.
Yeah.
Here, see. Or I don't know. I don't fucking know.
You guys know who Angelica Houston is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
It's
she's Morticia Addams.
Morticia Addams, the famous Morticia Addams.
I knew that name from somewhere. Right?
So that's John Huston's daughter, who plays the old grandfather dad.
Oh, okay.
And Jack Nicholson had just started a relationship with her who lasted for many, many years. They were a famous couple for a long time.
Yeah.
So that made many of the scenes with her father, John Huston, very uncomfortable, especially as the only time that Angelica was on set during the day, they were filming the scene where Noah Cross interrogates Nicholson's character with, Mr. Geddes, do you sleep with my daughter? So very weird art bleeding into the real world or vice versa.
Yeah.
You can imagine the in-between takes, like the takes that they didn't use.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or like in between them, like, yeah, you did sleep with my daughter, didn't you?
Yeah, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
I just sleep with my daughter. Wait, are the cameras rolling?
Yes.
Also, the writer, a lot of good trivia on this. The writer, Robert Towne, he was originally offered $250,000. Not $125,000 to write a screenplay for The Great Gatsby. But he said, I couldn't do it better than F. Scott Fitzgerald. So instead, he decided to write his own story, Chinatown, and got paid $25,000 for it.
Wow.
Yeah. The famous scene where J. Geddes is slapping the woman in the face.
Yeah.
My sister. My daughter.
Yeah. So Faye Dunaway was pissed that Jack Nicholson wasn't getting it right because he kept pulling his punches or his slaps. And she's like, you need to fucking hit me. You need to actually slap me. And he felt so bad about it, but he did it. And those were all real slaps.
Really?
That's why they look so real.
Yeah.
She wanted it, and she got it. And that's the cut. That's the cut that left it in the film.
Fucking slap me.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know he actually struck her. Like, it did look real, so I guess it makes sense. That reveal was so well done, because she kept saying, "My sister, my daughter, my sister, my daughter," and I was in the moment. I was thinking, this must be a really big secret that she's keeping about this case that he's working. And then it turns out she was, the victim of rape from her father.
Yeah.
But was she though? Because he says he asked her. He's like, did he rape you? And then she says no,
Right.
implying that maybe it was
consensual.
consensual.
Clearly, it's not consensual. You can see the strife in her eyes.
It also can't be consensual.
Yes, true.
Why-
That's like saying, "Oh yeah, well that 13-year-old, she actually consented to us." So
Oh yeah, I forgot that she was a young person.
Yeah,
when
you
she-
can't- you can't
Okay,
do that.
never mind.
and it's incest.
Cut that out.
Feeling good.
God damn it.
Wasn't rape though. She
I
said
for-
Really, she was asking for it.
I forgot that she had her sister daughter as a teenager. That went completely over my head. All right, never mind. That wasn't good. That wasn't good. I'm so sorry.
You sure about that?
All right, more trivia. So the first dailies got basically given to Roman Polanski. He was pissed because when The Godfather had just blown up, 1972, just prior to this. So the producer Robert Evans, ordered the lab to give it like a red hue to it. So they wanted to make it more of like a rosy sort of a look. And Polanski's like, "This is fucking wrong. Redo it." Which it kind of has like a muted, like almost like a sepia look to it.
Kinda.
It's not overtly sepia, but it's definitely desaturated a little bit.
Yeah.
a lot of it takes place at like where the sun is at an angle. It's none of it looks like it's really like high noon or anything, or at night. I noticed that too. I mean,
just that one at the old lady's house, or the old folks home. That's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple of ones when he gets his nose cut. It's got unnatural lighting though at the reservoir though.
Yeah,
it's like street lights or something.
Oh, when he's like waiting there in the beginning.
No, when he gets his nose cut.
Oh yeah.
Which that guy is Roman Polanski.
Yeah, the short guy.
Yeah. Hey, you kind of get a little nosy, little kitty cat. You know what we do with nosy kitty cats, huh?
Yeah,
you want to know? They get cut. See?
See?
I like his response when he has to talk about it, and she's like, "What happened? What happened to your nose or whatever?" And I think he's like trying to impart the gravity of the situation he's into her.
Yeah,
and he's like, "I like my nose. I like smelling from it. I like using it or whatever he says."
Oh, when he's talking to that guy who is not the suspect, but he's like accusing him of like you've been rerouting water.
Yeah.
I think it's him where he's like, he says like when I breathe.
Oh yeah, is that hurt? Yeah, only when I breathe.
Yeah.
That's such a cool line. What I really like too is when he grabbed the business cards from the water person. And
that was a great grift too.
Yeah, and that because they're
I was thinking, why is he giving those again? I totally forgot.
Yeah,
and then he just poses as him at the reservoir later.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, but he just walks up and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is close to the public," and he just throws out a business card. No asking for an ID, just a business.
That's his
card.
ID.
This is the 30s.
Mulvihill.
Yeah. I mean,
Mulvihill. No, Mulray was the old man, but Mulvihill was the head of the Department of Water and Power.
A lot of moles out there.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Yelburton. I'm sorry, Yelburton.
There was when he goes to the orange grove.
Yeah,
I thought that was a little weirdly done on his part because he's like he goes there, he drives through it with his car, and then the guy's like. They shoot at him, and he's like, "Hey!" And then he just immediately drives off, even though he just wants to ask them questions.
I think the fact that he got shot at with no warning, that's the scary part. You're like, "Oh, if I just got to bounce."
Yeah.
Well, but then the guy walks up to him, and they're like, "Stop beating him up! I want to ask him something."
Yeah,
and they're like, "What is it? You're just shooting at me?"
Yeah, really.
Why don't you just fire in the air? Why do you shoot the car?
Maybe the shot was intentionally missed him.
Maybe.
Maybe he did that, but
yeah, but they fucked his car up though.
And he ran into one of his trees and they kind of tore up their orange grove.
Yeah.
it really crashed that car too.
Yeah.
That looked good.
Any symbology there for the oranges and the falling from the trees? I don't know.
Could be, yeah, but no one died in that scene.
No, that's true.
Can we talk about James Hong? Not one smile in this whole movie.
Yeah, very young James Hong.
Yeah,
I've never seen him so young, actually.
I don't think so.
Not one smile.
I think the oldest or the youngest I've seen him is Blade Runner, original.
Let's see.
And Big Trouble in Little China. Although he is covered in makeup, so
yeah,
it's hard to tell.
Let's see what his first credit was. So this was 74, and his first credit goes way back.
1937.
Way back. Still scrolling.
Man, this guy.
Still scrolling. I'm in the 50s now.
Man is immortal.
Man's immortal.
1953. Dragonfly Squadron, uncredited.
Dragonfly Squadron.
Yeah, and his first credited role was 1955, TV Reader's Digest, Judge number 4.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
You guys want to can we do a closest to the pin on how many credits are in James Hong's filmography?
Since 1953, right?
Yeah, 53. So just throw a number out there, closest to the number. It doesn't have to be high or low.
53.
53 credits?
Yeah.
You think, okay.
280.
Jesus.
463.
I was way off.
I know, 53. I was like, that's like Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's one thing.
That's like leading man shit. He's a background character in everything, so he can just be a one day role and shit.
God damn, over 400?
He has 53 within the last like 10 years.
Jeez. All right, well. I was off base with that. The whole saltwater thing was really awesome because just like the way that Jake like emotes when he like he's just walking away. He's like, saltwater bad for glass. And then he's like stops in his tracks and he's like,
wait a minute.
Like, what did you just say? But it feels like it's done so naturally. It doesn't feel like deliberate. It just feels like clicked in his head. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciated that the realness of Jake throughout this whole movie. Like he wasn't, he was badass, he was suave and cool, but like in a way where it was believable rather than it felt Hollywoodish. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Got some more trivia here.
Yeah.
So there was originally in the script there was supposed to have narration over the movie.
Whoa,
like a noir movie.
Yeah, like a classic noir, and that was cut. Polanski said, "Nah, it makes it feel too old." In the two Jakes, there's a lot of narration. Yeah, a lot of narration.
Okay.
And supposedly there was supposed to be a trilogy. The third one never materialized, but it was going to be
the three Jakes.
Yeah, it was three
Jakes.
Robert Town.
3 Jakes later.
Robert Town and Bob Evans were all going to be on board for a trilogy, but it just didn't happen.
Jake cubed.
3 Jakes, the Bone Temple.
To emphasize that the audience is seeing everything from Giddis's perspective, Polanski often put the camera behind Jack Nicholson so the audience sees his back and shoulders in frame. And there is no scene where Giddis is not there. There are shots where he's not in frame, but he's always a part of
every scene.
Every scene, he's in every scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's supposed
I didn't even think about
supposed
that.
to be 100% from the perspective of
Jake,
of the detective. Yeah, which is basically true to the tradition of Raymond Chandler detective stories. Who Raymond Chandler is the writer of all of those classic noirs. He did Double Indemnity, Murder My Sweet, The Big Sleep, Strangers on a Train. Those were all novels that he had written, and then they were adapted into movies. So he's the godfather of like the classic detective stories. And he died in 1959. He was 1888 born.
Damn.
So these are like old school stories.
1888.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So that was very important to Polanski that he shoot it from Giddis' perspective because that's how the books are basically written.
Yeah.
Where was it here? Saw another interesting one here. John Huston's mispronunciation of Giddis' last name wasn't in the script.
Gitz.
He calls him Gitz.
Yeah.
John Huston, he just couldn't get it right. So Polanski and Jack Nicholson just added a line trying to correct him, and then they let it go after that. Yeah. It's Gittes. Never mind. And then forever it was Gitz. Mr. Gitz.
I actually really like that line because a lot of people get my last name wrong.
Yeah.
And so
I can see that.
when I was a little bit more timid and younger, I wouldn't
Tyler,
correct.
no.
Yeah. Or Noah. I don't know where you get that. But back when I was more timid, I wouldn't correct people. But now I do. And I feel like Gittes, like kind of just like it's Noe. And everyone's like, oh,
Is that how you say it? It's Noe.
It's Noe to you, punk.
That's Mr. Noe to you.
Well, it always catches people off guard because they'll say, Tyler, no. And I'll be like, it's Noe. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, it's
yeah, you are, aren't you?
It's such a weird power trip that I get off correcting people on my last name. And so when I watch that scene, because Jack Nicholson does it kind of like the same way that I do it to other people. I mean,
It's basically you.
I'm basically Gittes.
Yeah.
This movie's literally me.
Forget It, Jake. It's Chinatown, number 74 on the most memorable quotes from AFI.
It's interesting that the movie is called Chinatown, and they reference Chinatown a lot in the movie, but most of it takes place outside of Chinatown. It doesn't really play a role in the movie, but there's like a layer underneath that.
A lot of Chinese people like working around, and also the China his experience in Chinatown like colored his experiences now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I like trying to find the connection there between that Chinatown, his history of working in Chinatown, and why is it so significant to be the title of the movie and such an important part of the character.
The quote itself is supposed to be like almost a shorthand for just saying you got screwed and there's no making sense of it and there's nothing you can do about it. Just forget it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like in Chinatown, nothing makes sense. You're trying to make sense of something that is nonsensical. And just like that real life beat police officer that the Robert Town was talking to, it's like we try to do as little as possible because we don't even know if we're fucking doing good or bad in there.
That's actually a really great point because I can see that connection too because they referenced that nothing made sense in Chinatown, and the case, although you can make sense of it, it also doesn't make sense, this pursuit in profit at the expense of the population in which you reside in.
You have something you were going to say, Joseph?
No, I guess, I mean, that makes sense with the ending.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it happened here in Chinatown where nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
And then it ends with sort of unanswered, unsolved.
And there's nothing you can do about it either.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay. It's almost like the end of Burn After Reading.
Yeah.
What did we learn, sir? Not to do it again, I guess. Whatever it was we did.
Yeah.
I guess. Fucking close the book.
Yeah.
I do like how the ending wasn't resolved though.
I did like it too. I like the sadness, the bleakness of it, because it's like that kind of grounded in this sort of already kind of grounded movie. Because the case is very like the water, and they're in a desert, and it's like very realistic.
Yeah, the scope's real. The case of the scope was really. It was bigger than.
It sucks though that she both her parents are dead now. Well, her adopted dad and her real mom are dead. Now she has to deal with her adopted dad, grandpa, her real dad, grandpa. That sucks. She plays a pretty big part in the Two Jakes too.
Oh, she does.
Oh, she comes back.
The daughter, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you guys want to take a guess of any of the other top 100 most quotable lines in history? I have the list up.
Within the movie.
100. No, it's 100 most 100 years, 100 most iconic movie quotes from AFI.
Okay. Star Wars.
No, name the quote. The quote.
I am your father.
No, comma, I am your father. Okay, Joseph.
I didn't know I had to say the comma.
That's fine. That's fine.
Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Okay, let's see who got closer.
Get to the chopper.
Okay, so Godfather. No, I am your father. Not on the list.
Really?
What? Not on the list. Yep.
It's something from Star Wars on the list.
And then let's see. Boat.
That's an outrage.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. Number 35.
Sweet. Really? Star Wars not on the list?
Mm-hmm. Let me look. May the Force be with you that's number 8.
Oh.
That is the only Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You would think so.
Heather says, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn."
Oh, that's got to be on there.
That has to be on there. Jeez.
That is number 1.
That's number 1.
Very good, Heather.
There's 100 of these.
There's 100 of them. You want to take another guess at them?
Jeez.
Perfect.
I hate it because like I feel like I'm on the spot, so now I can't. I know movie quotes, and now I'm just like, what's?
We're
a
going
movie?
back to the future.
I was going to say, where are we going? We don't need roads. Might be one.
Where are we going? We don't need roads.
Need roads.
Rosebud.
Rosebud, maybe.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Rosebud.
Roads. Oh, I spelled that wrong.
I don't know if it's iconic. I mean, it is iconic, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
It's more of a word than a quote, though. Where we're going, don't need roads is not on there.
That's stupid.
Back to the Future, also not on there.
Oh.
Rosebud. Yep, that's number 17.
Nice.
Okay.
Good job. Tyler, you got another guess?
I don't.
Let's get to the chopper on there.
Let's get to the chopper.
No chopper.
Man, I don't know. I mean, is there one from Chinatown?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown, number
okay.
74. Here, I'll do the top 10.
Okay.
I'll make an offer you can't refuse.
That's number 2. Yeah.
Sweet.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am.
Huh.
That's on the waterfront.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Toto, I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Okay.
Here's looking at you, kid. Casablanca. Go ahead, make my day, Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Actually, that's from Sudden Impact. All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Sunset Boulevard.
It truly was a Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, it might be on there.
It truly
May the
was.
force be with you. Number 8, fasten your seatbelts. Is going to be a bumpy ride, all about Eve. And You Talking to Me, Taxi Driver.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Anyways.
that list sucks, but
That list sucks.
What should be on there?
I don't know. Something.
To Infinity and Beyond.
The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah. How about no? When he
Yeah.
says, casting the fire and the guy says no.
Also,
Yeah. No.
Caesar from Planet of the Apes. No.
Yeah. See, very multi-purpose quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Vader. No.
No.
Revenge of the Sith.
John Huston, they offered him to direct the movie, but he decided not to.
Why?
This-
Does it say
this-
why or?
Chinatown.
Was he a director before?
I believe so. I believe he's a pretty famous director.
Oh, I never heard of him.
Let's All right, let's see what some of his top hits.
Was he born in 1888?
No, he was born. Let's see, what year was he? John Huston? 1906.
He's close.
1906.
Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, he directed the Maltese Falcon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I knew it was somebody famous, but I don't know. Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Key Largo, We Were Strangers, The African Queen, Moulin Rouge, the original.
African Queen, never heard of that.
Yeah, Moby Dick. Freud. Night of the Iguana. Oh, Night of the Iguana. Okay, cool.
Oh, nice.
The original Casino Royale. Fat City. I've heard that's actually really good.
Fat City.
Fat City.
Fat City.
The Man Who Would Be King. Annie.
The musical?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he directed that one with the redhead.
wow.
With the redhead.
Yeah, that one. All right, anyways, I got nothing else to say about this movie. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel like a 2-hour runtime. Like it just has a very great pacing and yeah. Sorry, I thought the door opened for some reason.
Nah.
I just really love this movie. I'm glad I watched it, and I will be watching it again. Not anytime soon, but there's rewatchability for sure.
Okay, cool. So what's next? We have to give our picks, right?
We have to grade this movie.
Oh yeah, we had to grade the movie too. Forgot. Tyler.
A+.
Oh, well. Okay. This is your episode, but.
Well, he directed me. He said, Tyler, like,
I was throwing to you, but that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's grade this movie then. A+ for me. We already know.
Whoa. Feeling good.
Joseph, what would what would you grade Chinatown?
Yeah, like an A+, I think.
You say A+, Tyler?
Yeah.
Well, that makes 3. That's an A+ for sure.
It's a triple A+ movie.
Yeah. A+.
It's unfortunate that Roman Polanski had to be such a piece of shit.
This is before the rape, though.
Pre POS.
Yeah.
That's
Before we knew.
If he was still learning about it.
I don't know.
He took a little too much from the story.
I mean, it's
He's like, that's not a bad idea.
It's kind of like a case of like separating the art from the artist, because he did Rosemary's Baby, which was a really good film as well. So
also about a baby.
Has he directed anything? No, he did The Pianist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was it's crazy to think that I don't know. It's,
Yeah.
It is.
It is. It's crazy.
It is.
It's all crazy.
It makes no sense, much like Chinatown. Whatever state.
His whole life is Chinatown.
His whole life is Chinatown.
It's all there. All right. So 3 AAAs now. We have to me and Joseph give our detective movies, because we're gonna do Joseph's next, and then we're doing mine. So Joseph, have you picked one?
Yes, I did. Let me find out.
Let me find it.
Streaming anywhere. Before I do that, because I remember I picked one that wasn't streaming for Car Chase.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was called The Highway, right? Or The Driver.
Yeah, The Driver. Wasn't, you can't even rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to ask Adam.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch it someday, but I can never find it. So I'm gonna pick a older movie from 1949.
Oh.
Directed by Orson Welles.
Oh,
I believe.
Third Man?
No, sorry, not directed by. Starring Orson Welles. Directed by Carol Reed. The Third Man.
Fuck yeah. Can't wait.
I've heard of it.
It's so highly recommended, and I've never watched it. I have it on VHS.
Yeah, streaming on Hoopla, Canopy, IndieFlix, Prime Video. This one called C.
C, huh?
C.
Is it the Criterion?
Cineverse.
Yeah, see?
Cineverse.
All right.
Cineverse. Huh?
The Third Man.
Okay, so that's going to be next week, and it's streaming where?
Hoopla, Canopy, IndieFlix, Prime Video.
Okay, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, and for mine, I'm going to go, so we have one from the 70s, one from the 50s. I'm going to do a modern one that I've showered praise upon this movie and talked about on the show many times. And it is a loving homage to all those, The Kid Detective. That's my pick.
Yes.
After watching two, if it was my pick, I wouldn't use it for if I picked the detective movies. I don't think it would be appropriate. But we'll have watched two greats, and then we get to watch a modern version, a modern take on that with lots of homage to the greats.
Great.
And then we get to do the Patreon pick. The patrons get to pick what the week 4 is.
Yeah. So if you want your voice heard, pay us money.
Well, you don't. You don't even have to. You could just be in the Patreon and participating. You don't have to be a cool ass yardie or anything. You could be any level.
That's true.
All patrons can participate in the vote, and that'll be in 3 weeks from today.
Yes.
Cool. That's exciting.
All right. Well,
why The Third Man, Joseph?
Because I've only seen one Orson Welles movie and I didn't like it, which was Citizen Kane, which is not a detective movie, but I've never seen any other Orson Welles projects, anything else he's been in or directed. And I've heard The Third Man is great. I like the title for some reason.
Yeah.
Hey, we're 3 men.
We are. Who's the third one?
Probably me.
Whoa. Feeling good.
Yeah, that's why, really. I've heard it's great. That's all I heard.
Cool. All right.
All right, cool.
Okay, anything else, fellas?
I think that's it.
Okay. We got Heather still in the chat. She says The Cheap Detective is a fun parody film. I'm going to look that one up.
The Cheap
She's
Detective.
also a big fan of The Third Man, and says that Raymond Chandler started his writing after he lost his job in the Depression. Yeah, that's interesting. Just became a writer out of the blue, out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm depressed. I guess I'll start writing.
I mean, I guess all writers just start writing.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyways, okay, cool. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, and Chris. If you want to support us on the show, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just share our videos with a friend. We're at 1,100 subscribers now, a little over that on the YouTube, and feels good.
Feels good.
Yeah, maybe we'll I don't know. Maybe we'll do something when we get to 2000 or something like that. I don't know.
Super trivia.
Yeah, there we go.
Whoa. Feeling good.
But anyways, until next time. Oops, that's not the right one. There it is. All right, thank you for joining us as we review Chinatown, Roman Polanski's masterpiece from 1974. Follow us next week as we review The Third Man, streaming on a bunch of places. If you haven't watched it already, please watch it so next week we can be on the same page. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class. And on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next week.
See you next time.
See ya.